So, good morning everyone. I'm Anusha and I'm here to explain you about a potentiostat, which is an analytical instrument. In the following slides, I'll be giving you the overview of a potentiostat. It contains the introduction of potentiostat, second, the theoretical aspects of a potentiostat, third, the components, fourth, working, fifth, both the advantages and disadvantages, sixth, limitations, seventh, applications, and eighth is the emerging trends of a potentiostat. So first, as you can see this figure, or the diagram, basically it represents how a potentiostat works actually. Here you can see how it is analyzing the data and how it is giving the output of the data. As you can see, there are small graphs which is given as an output. So other than that, if we come to the introduction part, a potentiostat is a crucial analytical instrument in electrochemistry which plays a vital role in controlling and measuring electrochemical reactions. And it is mainly designed to control the voltage of an electrochemical cell, and it monitors the current response. Next, coming to the theoretical aspects of a potentiostat. In electrochemistry, the relationship between current and voltage is key to understanding reactions at electrode surfaces. When a voltage is applied to an electrochemical system, the response current provides information on the nature of the electrochemical reactions occurring at the electrode. And similarly, potentiostats operates by maintaining a specific potential difference between the working electrode and the reference electrode, and we'll be knowing about these electrodes in the following slides. And other than that, according to Ohm's law and Faraday's law, the current flowing is directly related to the rate of electron transfer and thus the kinetics of the electrochemical reaction taking place. Then coming to the components of potentiostat. The main components, actually there are many components, but out of them the main ones include electrode. So in those electrodes also there are like three types which we use. The first one is the working electrode, then comes the reference electrode, and at the last comes the counter electrode. So coming to the first part, working electrode, it is the electrode at which all the important reactions takes place. So the surface where the electrochemical reaction occurs. It can be made of various materials such as platinum, gold or carbon. And the reference electrode includes the reference electrode. It provides a stable and known potential against which the working electrode potential is measured. And coming to the counter electrode, it completes the circuit and provides the necessary current to maintain the desired potential difference, often made of inert materials like platinum or carbon. Then coming to the next part, which is working of potentiostat. As you can see this figure, the first one which you can see, it is a working electrode. Then the middle part, it's a reference electrode where the voltage is stable actually. And this is the last one, as you can see, that is the counter electrode. This part is of counter electrode. As you can see, it is the signal is being sent to this, then here it is getting analyzed and the output is being shown on this monitor or screen, whatever. Then actually how does it happen, we'll be knowing right now. So the potentiostat operates on the principle of feedback control. It monitors the potential difference between the working electrode and the reference electrode, which is a stable and known potential. To maintain the desired potential difference, the potentiostat adjusts the current flowing through the circuit using a counter electrode. This constant potential control allows for precise and controlled electrochemical reactions. These reactions will be taking place in the solution which you can see here, and that data will be analyzed here and we can get the output. Actually, how does it happen? First, in a laboratory scale or anywhere, a person will set the desired potential difference between the working and the reference electrodes. Then the next step comes. That is, the potentiostat will constantly monitors the actual potential difference between the working and the reference electrode. Then the potentiostat adjusts the current flowing through the counter electrode to maintain the desired potential difference. So this is the feedback mechanism or feedback control which we have discussed here. Then I have just added an image so that you can actually understand. From here we'll get the current follower, and the signal is the control circuit, and here it is the electrometer circuit, and here you can see this is the counter electrode and this one is the reference electrode. From here the signal goes like this, and then this is a differential amplifier and all, and this is the working electrode. Then coming to the next part. So the next part is the working modes of a potentiostat. Actually, potentiostat is operated in many kinds of modes, but in general life we use mainly two modes. Those are potentiostatic mode and galvanostatic mode, depending on the type of analysis which we need. Firstly, in the potentiostatic mode, a constant potential is applied between the working and the reference electrode, and the resulting current is measured. While in a galvanostatic mode, the constant voltage is applied between the reference and the counter electrode, and the resulting voltage is measured. That is the difference between these two modes, namely potentiostatic mode and galvanostatic mode. Then now here comes the output. So the measurement and data acquisition. A potentiostat can provide results in the form of a current versus time graph, or a potential or voltage versus time graph, and also current versus potential or voltage graph. As you can see in this picture, it is a current versus potential graph, and here you can see with very small increase in the potential there is a huge decrease in the current value. So for analyzing this kind of information we use a potentiostats. Then coming to the electrochemical techniques, potentiostats enable various electrochemical techniques for studying and characterizing electrochemical reactions. So out of them, few of them I have listed here. One is cyclic voltammetry. It measures the current response to a triangular potential sweep, providing information about the redox processes occurring at the electrode surface. The next comes chronoamperometry. It measures the current response over time at a constant potential, providing information about the reaction rate and diffusion coefficients. So there is a difference. Then impedance spectroscopy. It measures the electrochemical impedance of the system over a range of frequencies, providing information about the charge transfer resistance, double layer capacitance, and other properties. Then coming to the advantages and disadvantages part. First, let's go through this. Then coming to the advantages. First, advantage of a potentiostat is that it is very precise. There is very precise potential control will be there, and it is a very sensitive current measurement will be happening, and it is versatile in electrochemical techniques. Then fourth one, real-time data collection and analysis. Then fifth, applicable across diverse fields. Then suitable for micro and nanoscale analysis also. And coming to the disadvantages, the setup is really complex and the calibration is also, and it requires electrode stability and maintenance, limited to conductive materials and solutions. These all are the disadvantages, and the equipment cost is really high. Then susceptible to electrical noise, which can be a kind of pollution. Then the last one is that it is limited insight into molecular mechanisms. Then um, now the limitations and challenges of the potentiostat. Here I have, there are many actually, but out of there are there are few limitations. Out of those few, I have listed some of the limitations here, which are potentiostats have inherent limitations in their response time and accuracy, especially when dealing with fast electrochemical processes. So it's a limitation. Then comes the electrode stability. The stability and reproducibility of electrode surfaces can be a concern, impacting the reliability of measurements. And then coming to the interference, electrochemical measurements can be susceptible to interference from other components in the solution, requiring careful experimental design. Then comes the applications. Here I have listed two types of applications. One in the basic chemical related side and the other in the analytical applications. So first in the chemical industry, we'll be knowing where a potentiostat is used. So the applications are like in chemical industry, the potentiostat is used during electroplating or corrosion preventing and also chemical synthesis. And in the energy industry, for battery research, fuel cell development, and energy storage and all. And in the material science industry, potentiostat can be used for electrochemical deposition, surface modification, and nanomaterial synthesis. Coming to the analytical applications part, so here trace metal analysis industry. In that industry, a potentiostat is used for detecting and quantifying heavy metals in water, soil, and biological samples. Environmental monitoring, measuring pollutants like pesticides and toxins in water and air samples. We can use a potentiostat. And even in the pharmaceutical research, studying the electrochemical properties of drugs and analyzing their stability and bioavailability, for all this kind of stuff, we can actually use a potentiostat. Then coming to the energy trends and innovations, first is miniaturizing, where development of miniaturized and portable potentiostats for on-site analysis and point-of-care diagnostics. These are now emerging actually. So integration with AI, use of artificial intelligence for automated data analysis, process optimization, and predictive modeling in electrochemistry. And coming to the third one, which is a microfluidic devices, integration of potentiostats with microfluidic devices for high throughput screening and automated electrochemical reactions we use. And coming to the new electrode materials, research and development of novel electrode materials with enhanced properties for specific applications such as high performance batteries and fuel cells. So, thank you. This was the presentation. I hope you have understood.